As we get older, it's very important to be picky about who we let into our homes and lives, especially those living nearby. Life teaches us many important things as we age. We learn to value our friends and family, our well-being, and the things that are truly important. A key lesson we learn in our senior years is to be careful about who we allow into our personal space, our house, our life, and even our thoughts. This isn't about being suspicious, but about being smart about who we welcome in, particularly neighbors or people who seem too interested in our private affairs. Here are some main ideas to remember. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to get notified of new videos. Our home is much more than just a building. It's a collection of our life experiences, filled with memories, treasured belongings, and quiet moments that tell the story of our lives. As we grow older, our home becomes a symbol of everything we've been through, the happy and sad times, the big events, and the everyday moments that make up our life story. Each room holds memories, from laughter with family and friends to quiet times spent alone. It's a place where we can be ourselves, feeling safe and secure. Our home also stands for independence. For many, it's a sign of strength and self-reliance, a place where we've overcome challenges and built a life for ourselves. It's the one place where we can truly unwind, surrounded by familiar things that give us comfort and peace. As we grow older, our natural kindness and willingness to trust others can sometimes make us vulnerable. The special, meaningful place we've created, our home, needs to be safeguarded not only from physical threats, but also from emotional and mental harm. Inviting someone into our house is a personal act, showing we believe in them. However, not everyone has good intentions. When we welcome people in, we need to remember that they might not see our home as the precious sanctuary we do. Some might see it as a chance to take something, judge us, or even take advantage of us. The sad reality doesn't make our trust any less beautiful. It just reminds us that welcoming someone into our home is a special favor, not something they're entitled to. In our later years, protecting the holiness of our home means protecting our very selves. It's not just about physical safety. It's about safeguarding the life we've built and keeping our inner peace. Our home, filled with memories and significance, deserves our respect and protection, so it stays a place of comfort, safety, and personal pride. By being careful about who we let in, we protect our sanctuary, ensuring it remains a true reflection of the life we love. There's a delicate balance between being a good neighbor and being too trusting, especially with those who live near us. Being friendly as we get older can bring warmth and connection, but we must also be cautious and discerning about who we allow into our personal space. Having good neighbors can bring a lot of comfort and friendship, especially as we get older. A simple hello or offer of help can make a big difference, but it's important to remember that not everyone has good intentions. Just because someone lives near us doesn't mean they're a true friend. Trust and respect need to be built over time. While many people are kind, some might try to take advantage of others. Some people might act like friends, but secretly have selfish or even dishonest reasons. Just like Judas betrayed trust while pretending to be loyal, we need to be careful, even with people who live close by. Being a good neighbor doesn't mean being gullible. We need to be able to tell the difference. Being kind is important, but we also need to set limits to protect ourselves, our homes, and our lives. This isn't about pushing everyone away, but about protecting what's important to us and making sure only those who respect us are a part of it. Real friendship respects limits, values privacy, and develops slowly. As we age, connections become even more important, but being cautious is a way of respecting ourselves. Being careful about who we let into our lives and homes. Even neighbors helps protect not only our physical space, but also our peace of mind. George, a nice elderly gentleman, had resided calmly in his home for a long time, feeling protected and comfortable. A new person, James, moved nearby and appeared very kind and eager to assist. George, being trusting and hospitable, believed James was becoming a genuine friend. As time passed, however, James's helpful actions became forceful. He visited George excessively and began inquiring about very private matters regarding George's finances, relatives, and plans for the future. Initially, George assumed James was simply inquisitive, but James continued asking increasingly personal questions, causing George to feel compelled to respond. James even began offering George unsolicited guidance about altering his last testament and selling his residence. George subsequently understood that James was not being a good friend whatsoever. James's pretended niceness was actually a scheme to exploit George. George's inherent tendency to be pleasant had unintentionally made him susceptible to harm. Someone who was more interested in personal gain than true companionship. This story of George and James highlights a truth many seniors may face. The line between friendliness and over-familiarity trust is something that should be given carefully, especially in our later years when stability and peace of mind means so much. It's one thing to be neighborly, but it's another to let someone cross into the personal space of our lives without clear boundaries. George's story reminds us that while kindness is a virtue, it's also wise to be discerning about whom we allow into our inner circle. Relationships built too quickly or with too much familiarity can sometimes mask motives that are anything but genuine in our later years. Our homes and lives are precious, and protecting them means recognizing when a friendly face may be hiding intentions that don't serve our best interests. True friendship is built gradually and respects privacy. It does not pry or pressure. In safeguarding our trust, we preserve the peace we have worked so hard to cultivate. 4-Story 2. The kind helper with ulterior motives. In our later years, many of us have learned to appreciate the value of a helping hand. The small acts of kindness from others can feel especially meaningful, and as we age, we might welcome support with gratitude. But not everyone who offers help has selfless intentions. Take Ellen Hare's story. A poignant example of how vulnerability can sometimes be met with exploitation rather than care. Eleanor, a retired school teacher, lived alone and had always been somewhat reserved. Then, one day, her new neighbor, Beth, began showing up with offers to assist with small tasks, running errands, helping with groceries, and even lending a hand around Ellen's home. At first, Ellen felt fortunate, seeing Beth's help as a gesture of kindness that made her days a bit easier. She began to let Beth into her life and gradually into her home. But over time, Eleanor started noticing that small, seemingly insignificant items were missing. A silver bracelet she had treasured, a few dollars left on the counter, a sentimental trinket. She couldn't find it first. She thought it was simply her memory slipping, a natural part of growing older. However, the pattern continued, and one day, when Eleanor checked her jewelry box, she realized her cherished wedding ring was gone. With a sinking feeling, she began to suspect that her helpful neighbor Beth might not have been as kind-hearted as she appeared. Gathering her courage, Eleanor confronted Beth, only to discover that the woman she'd welcomed and trusted had indeed been taking advantage of her. Generosity. This painful realization was more than just about the loss of a few belongings. It was a betrayal of the trust Eleanor had so openly extended, the feeling of vulnerability of having let someone into her life who would abuse that privilege was a far deeper wound than any material loss. Ellen's experience serves as a reminder that kindness, while valuable, must be tempered with discernment. The willingness to help should be a two-way street, and real kindness respects boundaries. Genuine friends do not push their way into our personal spaces or take advantage of our trust. They honor the dignity of our independence while offering support on terms that respect our boundaries in our later years. It's natural to seek connection and to be open to the kindness of others, but it's equally essential to protect the sanctuary of our home and our peace of mind. True companionship doesn't manipulate or exploit it, offers support without strings attached. Ellen's story reminds us that while help is welcome, it's wise to remain vigilant, especially when someone's presence begins to feel more invasive than supportive. By balancing kindness with caution, we ensure that the trust we extend is met with genuine respect and care. 5. Setting boundaries for peace of mind. As we grow older, boundaries become not only an essential tool for maintaining independence, but also a form of self-respect and self-protection. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating a space where we can feel safe, at peace, and in control of our own lives. Establishing these limits helps us preserve the sanctuary we've built within our home and mind, allowing us to interact with others on our own terms without feeling pressured or vulnerable. Boundaries are also about defining what feels comfortable and safe in our interactions. In earlier years, we may have opened our doors freely, eager to share our lives and experiences. But with age, we understand the value of privacy, the peace that comes with having clear personal limits, and the importance of choosing carefully whom we allow to cross them. Setting boundaries empowers us to cultivate relationships that are genuine, where mutual respect and trust are present, rather than relationships that feel imposed or invasive. Here are some reflective ways to establish and protect these boundaries. 1. Limit access. Not every friendly face needs to come into your home. An occasional chat at the mailbox or a wave from the porch can be sufficient for building friendly connections without compromising your privacy. By keeping your home as a protected space, you create a clear distinction between friendliness and familiarity. 2. Be mindful of what you share. Guarding personal information is a simple but crucial boundary. Whether it's about finances, daily routines, or health issues, these details deserve to be shared only with those who have earned your trust over time. When we're selective about what we disclose, we ensure that others respect our privacy and boundaries. 3. Trust your instincts. Our intuition often tells us when something feels off, or when a person may not have the best intentions. Honoring these feelings is a form of self-care, a way of protecting ourselves from potential harm. Boundaries allow us to step back and evaluate without guilt or apology. 4. Utilize community resources. Many communities offer programs specifically designed to support seniors, from neighborhood watch programs to senior centers and assistance services. Turning to these trusted resources can sometimes provide safer alternatives than relying on individuals we don't know well. 5. Preserve your emotional space. Protecting our home goes beyond the physical. Our mental and emotional space deserves equal safeguarding. Boundaries ensure that others respect not only our physical space, but also our thoughts, feelings, and peace of mind. A healthy boundary keeps our inner world intact, unclouded by unnecessary worry or undue influence. In setting boundaries, we take control of our interactions and create a respectful distance that enables us to feel secure. True relationships, whether with neighbors or friends, should feel supportive, not intrusive. By setting limits, we prioritize our own peacemaking room only for those who genuinely respect us and our home. Boundaries, then, are not just lines we draw. They are a form of honoring our own worth, ensuring that we live our later years with the dignity and serenity we've rightfully earned. 6. The importance of being observant in our later years. Observation becomes one of our greatest allies, a quiet strength that can protect us from harm and help us navigate relationships with clarity. Being observant isn't merely about noticing small details. It's about developing an awareness of people's intentions, behaviors, and subtle shifts in how they interact with us. Observation helps us see beyond the surface, allowing us to recognize both genuine kindness and potential red flags that may signal hidden motives. Our intuition, honed over a lifetime of experiences, becomes sharper with age. We know when something doesn't feel quite right, when someone's actions don't align with their words, or when a casual acquaintance seems too interested in details of our life that don't concern them. Trusting these instincts is essential to protecting both our peace of mind and the safe environment we've cultivated in our home. Here are a few signs that may warrant extra caution. Overly personal questions. A neighbor or acquaintance who suddenly begins asking about your finances, health, or family dynamics may have intentions beyond friendship. It's natural to share certain details with close friends, but someone probing too deeply into your life, particularly without reciprocating that openness, may not be there just for companionship, interest in your property or possessions. When someone seems unusually interested in your belongings, be it your home, car, or even personal items, they may not have purely innocent intentions. Comments that focus on what you own or how you maintain your household could indicate an interest in more than just friendly conversation. Frequent or sudden offers of help. Offers of assistance can indeed come from a place of genuine care, but it's wise to be cautious if someone persistently insists on helping in ways that feel excessive or unnecessary. While there are many people with true generosity of spirit, it's also true that some may use offers of help as a means to gain your trust or subtly gain access to your life. Observation, in essence, allows us to protect our inner world. It helps us create boundaries based on real insight, ensuring that our lives remain private and secure. Being observant means taking note of patterns, how people behave over time, rather than relying on first impressions or assuming someone's kindness is genuine without question. In our later years, awareness brings us the gift of discernment, allowing us to choose our connections wisely and maintain our peace of mind. By staying observant, we honor the life we've built and the sanctuary we've created within our home. Through gentle vigilance, we protect not only our physical surroundings, but the heart of our well-being, ensuring that we can live each day with the comfort, respect, and dignity we deserve. 7. Learning from history. The dangers of misplaced trust. History teaches us countless lessons, and one of its most profound teachings is the importance of discerning whom we trust across time. Stories of betrayal have shown that misplaced trust can lead to deep loss and lasting regret. From ancient parables to modern tales, we see examples of genuine kindness taken advantage of by those who are self-serving or deceitful. These stories are not merely cautionary tales. They are reminders that even well-meaning people can sometimes be vulnerable to exploitation, especially when they are open and trusting. One historical example that resonates is that of the first settlers in indigenous people. The indigenous communities extended kindness, resource, and help to early settlers in good faith, only for some of these settlers to exploit that generosity instead of returning the kindness with mutual respect. Many of the settlers took advantage, leading to devastating consequences for them. Indigenous people. This dark chapter in history serves as a powerful reminder that goodwill must often be met with caution. As we grow older, the history of trust reminds us that while kindness is a virtue, it must be balanced with wisdom. It's not about becoming distrustful, but about learning to assess a person's intentions carefully before opening our lives and homes to them. Misplaced trust can be especially harmful as we age, when the sanctuary of our home and the stability of our home and the stability of our life. From these historical lessons, we recognize that our home and life are sacred. Extending trust too freely without understanding another character and intentions can lead to consequences that are difficult to reverse. And so we must take a balanced approach, one that allows us to connect with others while preserving our personal security and peace. By learning from history, we equip ourselves with a kind of foresight, a protective insight that helps us make wise choices about whom we allow into our closest circles. It's a way of honoring not only the lessons of the past, but also the life we've worked so hard to build, and being selective with our trust. We protect our dignity, maintain our independence, and uphold the sanctuary we've created in our home, ensuring that it remains a place of comfort, security, and peace. Final thoughts. Protecting what matters most as we journey into our later years, we often find ourselves valuing openness. In connection more deeply, friendships and companionship become meaningful sources of joy, and sharing our lives with others can bring a renewed sense of purpose. However, alongside this openness, there is wisdom in protecting what matters most: our peace of mind, the stability of our home, and the legacy of respect and comfort we have worked so hard to build. Protecting what matters most means understanding that our kindness and openness should never come at the cost of our personal security. Boundaries are not walls to isolate ourselves from others. They are structures that safeguard our independence, dignity, and emotional well-being. When we welcome others into our lives, we have the right and the responsibility to ensure that they respect the space and sanctity of our home and life. In these final thoughts, consider that protection is an act of self-respect, a way of honoring the life journey that brought us to this point. The memories, routines, and quiet moments within our homes are pieces of ourselves that we deserve to protect. Each interaction, each friendship should enhance our lives rather than infringe upon our comfort or security. Genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, where kindness flows both ways, and where personal boundaries are not just respected, but valued as we continue forward. Let us remember that by being selective with our trust and mindful of our space, we protect both our external and internal worlds. Then, right people will understand and honor our boundaries, and those who don't may not belong in our lives. By surrounding ourselves with those who uplift and respect us, we preserve the sense of peace that we have earned and ensure that our final years are filled with the comfort, security, and dignity we so deeply deserve. Ultimately, protecting what matters most is about safeguarding our legacy. It's about living each day in a home that feels like a sanctuary, filled only with the people, moments, and belongings that bring us joy and reassurance as we age. Let us approach each relationship with care, balancing openness with wisdom, so that the life we have built remains a place of peace and fulfillment. As it was always meant to be, these lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.